Ladies and gentlemen, champions in the making, I want you to understand something today, something so simple yet so powerful that it could radically change the entire trajectory of your life. You were not created to live in distraction. You were not born to chase after the noise of the world. You were designed for greatness, but greatness demands focus. And every single day you breathe is a new opportunity, a new responsibility to focus on yourself, sharpen yourself, and become the person you were destined to be. Today, let's talk about why focusing on yourself every day isn't selfish, it's necessary. You are your greatest investment. There is no stock, no business, no property on this planet that will ever outperform the value you can create inside yourself. Every day you spend focused on what others are doing, worrying about how others are winning, or comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20, you are robbing the most valuable resource you have, your own potential. Your time, your energy, your attention, these are precious currency. Where you spend them will determine the wealth you build, not just in your bank account, but in your character, your confidence, and your calling. Your mind, your body, and your spirit are not things you occasionally check on when you feel like it. They are your assets. They are the raw materials of the future you desire. Just like a farmer tends to his fields every single day to ensure a harvest in due season, you must tend to your gifts and your growth daily if you ever expect to reap the life you dream about. A farmer would never plant a seed, walk away for 6 months, and then complain about having no crop. But that's exactly what many people do with their talents, their knowledge, their health. They neglect the daily care and then wonder why the future looks barren. You must feed your mind with wisdom. You must stretch your body with discipline. You must fill your spirit with faith. When you do, you strengthen the foundation that every opportunity, every relationship, and every breakthrough will be built upon. When you don't, you are standing on shaky ground, easy to knock over when life's storms come. Imagine a person who spends their life chasing trends, running from one opportunity to the next without ever taking the time to sharpen their own skills, to develop their own mind, or to strengthen their own resolve. They end up exhausted, frustrated, and empty because they were trying to harvest fruit from fields they never planted. They were focused outward when the real breakthrough always starts inward. Let me give you a short, powerful example. There was once a young man named Marcus who dreamed of starting his own business. He spent years attending networking events, following influencers online, and studying the success stories of others. He knew what all the top entrepreneurs were doing, but he spent very little time developing himself. He didn't read books consistently. He didn't sharpen his communication skills. He didn't work on mastering his craft. Every time he encountered a challenge, he felt overwhelmed because he had built his knowledge on secondhand opinions rather than firsthand growth. Meanwhile, another young woman, Lydia, started with far less money, far fewer connections, but every single day she invested in herself. She read books on leadership and personal growth. She practiced her skills relentlessly. She treated her mind like a bank account, depositing value into it daily. Fast forward 5 years later, Marcus was still chasing the next big thing, but Lydia had built a thriving business, a strong mindset, and an unshakable confidence. She became successful not because she chased opportunity, but because she became the opportunity through focused investment in herself. When you invest in yourself, the world starts to recognize your value. You don't have to beg for opportunities. Opportunities will find you. You won't need to chase validation. Your results will speak louder than any words. Investing in yourself builds a confidence that cannot be faked, a resilience that cannot be broken, and a value that cannot be ignored. But there's a catch. You have to do it daily. You can't cram for success the way you cram for an exam. Growth is not an event, it's a lifestyle. You must choose every single day to make deposits into yourself. Some days, the deposits are small, reading a few pages of a good book, hitting the gym for a short workout, writing down your goals. Some days, the deposits are bigger, attending a conference, hiring a mentor, learning a new skill. But every deposit compounds over time. Over months and years, those deposits turn into a wealth of wisdom, a mountain of skill, and an empire of influence. And understand this, if you don't invest in yourself, the world will spin you cheap. It will put you to work for someone else's dream. It will use your time and your talent for the highest bidder, leaving you tired, unfulfilled, and wondering why you never reached your potential. Life will not automatically reward you for your good intentions. Life rewards you for the value you bring to the table. And value is something you must build deliberately, intentionally, and consistently. You are not too busy to invest in yourself. You are not too old, too young, too late, or too early. Today is the right day to start. Every morning you wake up, you have two choices. You can invest in distractions, or you can invest in destiny. You can spend your life scrolling through someone else's success, or you can spend it building your own. You are your greatest asset. Never forget it. Protect it. Grow it. Sharpen it. Because the future you dream about is not waiting out there somewhere. It's waiting inside you, ready to be unlocked when you decide to invest with everything you've got. Self-discipline is your superpower. It is not just a skill. It is the invisible force that separates those who wish from those who achieve. It's the ability to do what you need to do even when you don't feel like it. It's the power to say yes to your purpose and no to your distractions. Discipline is not something you were born with. It's something you decide to build every single day. And every time you practice it, you become stronger, sharper, and closer to the life you dream about. Focus is not a feeling, it's a decision. If you wait until you feel motivated, you will spend your whole life waiting. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you moving when motivation disappears. And believe me, it will disappear. When you master yourself, you can master anything. Life doesn't become easier, you become better. Challenges don't vanish, you grow stronger. Obstacles don't shrink, your willpower grows bigger. Discipline builds a kind of internal power that nothing outside of you can shake. It creates a momentum that fear can't stop and failure can't destroy. When you become a disciplined person, you stop being a slave to your circumstances. You stop blaming the weather, the economy, the critics, or the competition. You realize you are responsible for your destiny, and you show up to it every day, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline is the bridge between the life you dream about and the life you are living today. Your dreams are valid, your goals are possible, but without the daily decision to act, they will remain fantasies. Dreams don't work unless you do. Too many people spend their whole lives wishing for a different reality, but discipline is the tool that actually builds that new reality. One action, one sacrifice, one focused day at a time. Every time you make a decision that lines up with your vision rather than your comfort, you are laying another brick on the bridge to your best life. Some people are praying for a better life but avoiding the process that produces it. Discipline is that process. Every day you choose discipline, you are not just working harder, you are becoming harder to stop. You are building something inside of you that cannot be faked. You are wiring your brain for resilience, for patience, for strength. Discipline teaches you that you don't need immediate rewards. You learn to delay gratification. You become dangerous in the best way. Dangerous to laziness, dangerous to doubt, dangerous to the lies that say you can't do it. Discipline makes you unstoppable because it teaches you to be consistent. And in this world, consistency beats talent every single time. Let me give you a real simple example. There was once a young man named David who wanted to transform his life through fitness. He didn't have the best genetics. He wasn't naturally athletic, but he made a decision. Every morning he would get up at 5:30 AIMU and train, no matter how he felt. Some mornings he woke up full of energy. Other mornings he was tired, sore, or discouraged. But he didn't negotiate with himself. He didn't ask, do I feel like it today? He had already made the decision that his feelings would not dictate his future. Day after day, session after session, he showed up. Over time, something incredible happened. It wasn't just his body that transformed, it was his mind. He became tougher, more focused, more disciplined in every area of life. Opportunities started opening up for him, not just because of how he looked, but because of who he had become. His employers noticed his work ethic. His friends noticed his energy. His life leveled up, not because he was lucky, but because he became a disciplined force that life could not ignore. That is the power of self-discipline. It builds habits that outlast moods. It builds character that shines through circumstances. It creates a lifestyle where success is not a matter of if, but when. And the beautiful thing about discipline is that it's available to anyone willing to commit. You don't have to be the smartest, the strongest, or the fastest. You just have to decide. You just have to show up for yourself every day, even when it's hard, especially because those are the days that define you. Those are the days that sharpen you into the person who can carry the weight of your biggest dreams. There's nothing glamorous about discipline. It's not flashy. It's not exciting, but it is powerful, and the results it produces are undeniable. One day, you will look back at the days you didn't quit, the mornings you pushed through, the nights you stayed committed, and you will realize those small daily wins were the very moments that built the life you're proud of. So don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Choose discipline now. Focus on what matters now. Build the habits, the mindsets, and the muscles that your future self will thank you for. Because once you master discipline, you master destiny. Once you become unshakable on the inside, nothing on the outside can stop you. In a world that never stops talking, one of the greatest skills you can ever develop is the ability to silence the noise. Every single day, opinions flood your mind from every direction. The news flashes new crises across your screens. Social media broadcasts a highlight reel of everyone else's life, pulling your attention away from your own path. Critics, doubters, and even well-meaning friends offer advice that wasn't asked for, and opinions that don't serve you. If you are not careful, you will find yourself living a life shaped by the noise of others instead of the vision planted inside your heart. You must learn that champions don't react to everything they hear. They respond with wisdom. They don't dance for the approval of the crowd. They move to the rhythm of their calling. Distractions are cheap, but your destiny is priceless. Every minute you spend worrying about someone else's opinion is a minute you steal from your own mission. Every second you spend reacting to criticism is a second lost that could have been invested in creation, innovation, and growth. Champions understand that time is too precious to waste defending themselves against small minds. They realize that no critic has ever built a statue, no doubter has ever made history, and no gossip has ever changed the world. Silence is the language of strength. Focus is the currency of destiny. When you learn to silence the noise, you move differently. You no longer need permission to go after your dreams. You no longer seek validation from people who are not qualified to judge your journey. You stop announcing every move, trying to convince others that you're serious. Instead, you show up, you stay consistent, and you let your results do the talking. The world shouts opinions, but success whispers proof. Silence the noise, and you'll hear the quiet voice of your own greatness calling you higher. It's easy to get caught up. It's tempting to want to clap back at every hater, to explain yourself to every doubter. But if you are explaining, you are not executing. If you are reacting, you are not creating. Your energy is too valuable to waste on anything that doesn't move you closer to your purpose. Understand, destiny requires discretion. Not everyone needs to know your next move. Not everyone deserves access to your mind or your emotion. Some conversations are traps. Some arguments are distractions dressed up like debates. Some opinions are designed to detour you from your purpose. You must guard your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. Let me give you a short but powerful example. There was once a young woman named Serena who dreamed of launching her own clothing brand. When she started sharing her vision, the noise came fast. Family members told her it was too risky. Friends laughed and said the market was already too crowded. Strangers online criticized her designs before she even had her first product ready. At first, she felt tempted to explain, to defend, to prove herself right. But instead of getting caught up in the noise, she chose silence. She stopped talking and started building. She spent her nights designing, her weekends studying marketing, and her mornings packing orders. While others argued about whether she would succeed, she was putting in the work that made success inevitable. A few years later, Serena's brand became nationally recognized. Interviews poured in. The same people who doubted her were now asking for advice. She didn't win because she had the loudest voice. She won because she had the loudest focus. The world rewards those who refuse to be distracted. Every time you choose focus over drama, every time you choose execution over explanation, every time you choose progress over pettiness, you separate yourself from the crowd. Success is not about being the loudest. It's about being the most consistent. It's about being so locked in on your calling that the noise of the world fades into the background like static. And the more you build, the less the noise matters. The results speak for themselves. Never forget. Critics will criticize whether you win or lose. Haters will hate whether you succeed or fail. So you might as well win, you might as well succeed, you might as well pour every ounce of energy you have into your own vision instead of wasting it on voices that were never assigned to your destiny. Your future is not found in the approval of the crowd. Your future is hidden in your commitment to silence the noise and stay focused on what you are building. Silence is not weakness. It is not surrender. Silence is strategy. It is strength. It is the posture of someone so determined to win that they are willing to stay disciplined long after the world has forgotten about them. Champions are not distracted by criticism or delayed by doubt. They are too busy growing, too busy building, too busy becoming. Every minute spent on nonsense is a minute stolen from greatness. Protect your focus, guard your energy, stay faithful to your vision. Because every day you silence the noise, you amplify your destiny. Perfection is a lie. It's an illusion designed to keep you stuck, frustrated, and forever doubting yourself. If you spend your life chasing perfection, you will never feel good enough, you will never feel ready, and you will never move. That's why true growth, real success is not about being perfect. It's about measuring your progress. It's about asking yourself, am I better than I was yesterday? That's the only race that matters. That's the only standard that counts. The ones who make it to the top are not the ones who are perfect every step of the way. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They are the ones who celebrated small victories, learned from small losses, and kept moving forward no matter what. You have to understand that progress compounds. 1% better every day doesn't sound like much, but over time it transforms everything. The tiny improvements you make, the small disciplines you practice, the little victories you celebrate, they all stack up. And one day you wake up and realize you're not even the same person you used to be. That is the power of progress. Not flashy, not overnight, but absolutely unstoppable. The enemy of progress is the obsession with perfection. Perfection says if it's not perfect, it's worthless. Progress says even if it's messy, even if it's small, it still matters. Perfection makes you quit when it gets hard. Progress makes you stay when it's hard because you know that every small step is taking you somewhere bigger. Life doesn't reward perfection, it rewards persistence. It rewards growth. It rewards those who are willing to show up, do the work, and get a little better every single day. When you measure yourself only by perfection, you stay blind to your own growth. You ignore how much stronger you've become, how much more disciplined you are, how much further you've come from where you started. You miss the miracle happening in real time. You focus so much on the gap between where you are and where you want to be that you forget to honor the ground you've already covered. Gratitude for your progress, it strengthens your belief that you can do this, and belief is rocket fuel for action. Think about this. Imagine a man named Jordan who decided to run his first marathon. On day one, he couldn't even run a full mile without stopping to catch his breath. If Jordan compared himself to professional athletes, to the perfect image of what a marathon runner should look like, he would have given up immediately. He would have said, I'm too slow, I'm too out of shape, I'll never get there. But Jordan didn't measure perfection, he measured progress. Every day he ran a little further. Some days he stumbled. Some days he felt like quitting, but he always asked himself, did I do better than yesterday? 1 mile became 2, 2 became 5, 5 became 10, and a few months later, Jordan crossed that marathon finish line. Not because he was perfect, because he was persistent, because he honored his progress every step of the way. That's the mentality you need if you want to build something extraordinary. Perfection will paralyze you. Progress will propel you. Progress means you're willing to be a beginner. Progress means you're willing to look foolish for a while in order to become great later. Progress means you're willing to celebrate messy attempts instead of waiting for flawless victories. And if you can stay committed to progress, you will become unstoppable. You have to train your mind to recognize small wins. You have to see the beauty in incremental gains. Maybe today you woke up 10 minutes earlier than yesterday. Maybe you drank 1 more glass of water. Maybe you pushed yourself through 1 more hour of focused work. Celebrate it, stack it, build on it. Because those little wins create momentum, and momentum is a powerful force. When you build momentum through daily progress, success stops feeling impossible and starts feeling inevitable. It's not about making massive leaps every day. It's about making small steps with massive consistency. It's about trusting that if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, you will eventually arrive at a place far beyond anything you could have imagined. Success is not a straight line. It's a messy, winding, uncomfortable path full of lessons, setbacks, breakthroughs, and growth. And the people who win are the ones who keep walking anyway. Progress isn't always loud. It isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it looks like quiet discipline, small habits, invisible victories that no one else sees. But those small daily acts of discipline are building something powerful inside you. They are building character. They are building resilience. They are building a version of you that will be able to carry the weight of the dream you are chasing. Measure your progress, not perfection. Don't ask, am I there yet? Ask, am I better than yesterday? Progress is the proof that you are on your way. Progress is the evidence that greatness is unfolding in your life, even if you can't see it fully yet. Trust it, honor it, keep going, because when you focus on progress, perfection will eventually take care of itself. Not because you chased it, but because you outgrew every excuse, every fear, every limitation that once held you back. Real confidence isn't something you borrow from the world. It isn't something someone hands you with a compliment or something you gain only when people clap for you. Real confidence is built internally. It's quiet. It's personal. It's what you say to yourself when no one else is around. It's the private conversation you have in the dark when nobody's watching, when the results aren't visible yet, when the victories are still small and the failures feel heavy. True confidence is born from what you prove to yourself behind the scenes, not from what you show to the world on the stage. Building internal confidence starts with a simple but powerful concept: keeping the promises you make to yourself. When you tell yourself you're going to do something and you actually do it, you start to trust yourself. You start to build a real relationship with yourself, the kind that isn't based on hype or ego or trying to impress anybody else. It's based on evidence. You know you can count on you, and that belief becomes a force no outside opinion can touch. Most people want to feel confident without doing the work that creates confidence. They want to feel powerful without earning the right to feel powerful. But confidence isn't a feeling you chase. It's a byproduct of consistent action. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. Every workout you complete after promising yourself you would, every early morning you push yourself to show up, every difficult conversation you have that you said you wouldn't avoid, all of these are deposits into the bank account of your internal confidence. And over time, that account grows so full that no amount of outside negativity can bankrupt it. The reason so many people are desperate for external validation is because internally they know they've been lying to themselves. They've said they would change, but they haven't. They've promised themselves they'd start, but they keep making excuses. And because they can't trust themselves, they go looking for temporary validation from others. But the truth is, no amount of applause can cover the emptiness you feel when you don't respect yourself. Real power, real security, real confidence, it comes from knowing you are a person of your word, even when no one's checking, even when no one's praising. There was a young woman named Taylor who dreamed of writing a book. She told herself every January that this was the year she would finish it. And every year, life would get busy, distractions would pile up, and her dream would stay untouched. She would scroll through social media, seeing other authors celebrating their success, feeling smaller with every post she saw. At first, she thought the solution was to get more encouragement from friends, to hear more people say, "You can do it." But deep down, she knew no amount of external cheering could replace the internal conviction she was missing. One morning, Taylor made a decision. She would no longer break promises to herself. She started waking up 1 hour earlier every single day to write. Some mornings, the writing was messy. Some days, she barely made progress. But every day, she showed up. And as she kept her own promise day after day, something changed. She no longer needed someone to tell her she was a writer. She knew she was. The belief wasn't based on what she posted or what others said. It was based on what she proved to herself. A year later, Taylor finished her first book. And the pride she felt had nothing to do with the book sales or the likes online. It came from the fact that she had become a person who could trust herself. That's the example you have to follow. Stop looking outside for permission to feel worthy. Stop waiting for the world to tell you you're good enough. You don't need a bigger audience. You need a deeper agreement with yourself. You need to become the person who says, if I say I'll do it, it's done. Whether it's small or big, seen or unseen, easy or excruciating, your word to yourself must become sacred. When you live that way, you carry a different kind of energy. You don't walk into a room hoping to be accepted. You walk in already knowing you belong because you accepted yourself first. Internal confidence is not loud, doesn't need to shout, doesn't need to prove anything. It moves differently, it leads differently, it wins differently because it's anchored in truth, not in hype. And that kind of confidence, the kind you earn in private, becomes a foundation no critic can crack, no failure can shake, no rejection can destroy. So start today. Start small. Keep one promise to yourself, then another, then another. Stack the evidence, build the trust. Every day you keep a promise to yourself, you are sculpting the unbreakable confidence that will carry you through every storm and lift you toward every dream. The world doesn't need to believe in you first. You do. And once you do, nothing will be able to stop you. Listen to me. The world needs your gifts. Your family needs your leadership. Your dreams are counting on you to show up. But none of that happens if you don't focus on yourself every day. Focus on your health. Focus on your vision. Focus on your calling. Focus on becoming the highest, best version of the person God created you to be. Every day you focus, you forge. Every day you forge, you grow. And every day you grow, you get closer to the destiny you were born to fulfill. Stay focused, stay faithful, stay fierce. Because the world doesn't change when you get distracted. It changes when you stay determined. Let's get it.